Goldie Hawn's story begins far from Hollywood glamour, in a modest home in Maryland where music and discipline shaped her early years. Her father, a musician, practiced late into the night, while her mother pushed her towards structure and excellence. From the age of 3, Goldie was placed in ballet classes, not out of her own desire but because her mother believed dance would give her opportunities she never had. The ballet studio quickly became a place where Goldie spent most of her time, surrounded by mirrors and strict instructors who demanded perfection. She learned discipline early, but she also absorbed constant criticism. Instructors reminded students to stand straighter, point their toes more precisely, and hide every flaw. For Goldie, those lessons built resilience, but also planted seeds of self-doubt. She often felt she wasn't graceful enough or thin enough to fit the mold of the ideal ballerina. Even as a child, she quietly wondered if she would ever truly measure up. Learning to live with anxiety. During her teenage years, something else began growing alongside her dedication to dance. Anxiety she didn't yet understand. Before performances or auditions, she would feel a tightness in her chest and a nervous energy she couldn't shake. Sometimes her heart would race, leaving her convinced something was wrong, though she rarely spoke about it. At school, she felt out of place. She wasn't part of the most popular circles, nor was she known as an academic standout. Instead, she was the girl who danced, which made her noticeable, but not necessarily accepted. Classmates saw her blonde hair and cheerful personality and made quick assumptions about who she was. Few recognized the thoughtful, hardworking young woman behind the smile. At night, she often lay awake wondering what her future might hold. The uncertainty weighed on her, but it also pushed her forward, strengthening a determination she would rely on later in life. A dream tested by rejection. By the time she turned 16, Goldie decided she wanted to pursue dance professionally. She enrolled at American University while continuing to train and audition in Washington, D.C. Those years were filled with small theater productions, dance opportunities, and countless auditions. Yet the professional dance world proved difficult to enter. Casting directors often told her she didn't quite fit what they were looking for. Some thought she was too bubbly for serious ballet companies. Others felt her look didn't match their expectations of a classical dancer. Each rejection stung, especially after years of disciplined training. Goldie began questioning whether the path she had worked so hard for was even possible. Still, she kept going. She took any job that paid enough to cover rent and groceries, building a patchwork career while waiting for a chance that might change everything. The unexpected lessons of go-go dancing. One of the jobs Goldie took during those uncertain years was working as a go-go dancer in a nightclub during the 1960s. It wasn't the artistic stage she had once imagined for herself, but it paid the bills. Night after night, she danced on small platforms in crowded clubs, while music played loudly and audiences looked on. At first, she felt embarrassed, believing she had drifted far from the disciplined world of ballet she once knew. Yet those evenings taught her lessons she would later recognize as valuable. She learned how to connect with an audience instantly and how to hold people's attention through energy and confidence. She discovered that personality could be just as powerful as technical perfection. Without realizing it at the time, she was developing the charisma that would later make her unforgettable on screen. A break that changed everything. In 1968, Goldie auditioned for a new television comedy show called Laugh In. The producers were searching for dancers who could also deliver quick comedic moments. The audition room was full of talented performers, and Goldie initially felt she might disappear into the crowd. But when the music began, she stopped trying to perform perfectly and instead let her natural energy shine. She danced with enthusiasm, laughed when she stumbled, and interacted playfully with the room. That spontaneity caught the producers' attention. They saw something refreshing, someone who felt authentic and fun to watch. Goldie was hired, and Laugh-In soon became a cultural phenomenon. The colorful, fast-paced comedy show turned her into a national sensation almost overnight, introducing millions of viewers to the giggling blonde with bright charisma and unmistakable charm. An Oscar that silenced doubts. Goldie's opportunity to prove her range arrived when she auditioned for the film Cactus Flower in 1969. Determined to be taken seriously, she prepared intensely for the role. When she stepped into the audition, casting directors saw a completely different performer from the bubbly television personality they expected. Her portrayal of the character Tony brought warmth, humor, and vulnerability to the story. When the film premiered, critics praised her performance. The ultimate recognition came in 1970 when Goldie Hawn won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. For someone who had once been dismissed as simply a comedic television personality, the Oscar was a powerful statement. It showed that she was not only entertaining, but also a talented actress capable of depth and emotional connection. Building power in Hollywood. Winning an Oscar did not automatically solve every challenge in Hollywood. Studios still tried to cast Goldie in roles that leaned heavily on her comedic persona. Rather than accept every offer, she became more selective about the projects she pursued. In 1980, she took a bold step by producing and starring in Private Benjamin. At a time when few women held producing power in the film industry, her decision surprised many executives. The film became a major success and earned her another Academy Award nomination. More importantly, it proved that Goldie could shape her own career rather than rely solely on the roles others offered. She had moved from performer to creative force, demonstrating that persistence and smart choices could transform how the industry saw her. Finding strength through family. Goldie's personal life included both joy and challenge. She experienced marriages that did not last, and balancing a demanding career with family responsibilities was not always easy. As a mother to Oliver and Kate, she focused on creating a loving environment where her children could grow confidently. Later, actor Kurt Russell became an important part of her life. Their relationship developed gradually and grew into a lasting partnership built on mutual respect and shared values. Over time, Kurt also formed a close bond with Goldie's children, and together they created a blended family that supported one another. Their relationship, which has lasted decades without the traditional structure of marriage, often stands as an example of commitment built on choice and trust. Giving back through mindfulness. Later in life, Goldie began focusing more deeply on mental health and emotional well-being, subjects close to her heart because of her own experiences with anxiety. In 2003, she founded the Hawn Foundation, which developed the Mind Up program. The initiative helps children learn mindfulness, emotional awareness, and strategies for managing stress. Schools around the world adopted the program, reaching millions of students. For Goldie, this work became one of the most meaningful parts of her life. She often visits classrooms and speaks with teachers and children about understanding emotions and building resilience. The foundation reflects her belief that emotional education should be part of every child's learning experience, helping young people develop confidence and compassion as they grow. A life lived with authenticity. Today, Goldie Hawn is admired not only for her films, but also for the way she has embraced aging with honesty and grace. She speaks openly about valuing authenticity over chasing unrealistic standards of youth. Instead of trying to hide the passage of time, she celebrates the experiences that shaped her. Surrounded by family, including her children and grandchildren, she enjoys a quieter life while remaining active in charitable work and occasional creative projects. Looking back, her journey reveals something powerful. Success is rarely a straight line. It often grows from setbacks, persistence, and the courage to remain true to oneself. Goldie Hawn's legacy is not only the laughter she brought to audiences, but also the resilience and kindness she has shared with the world.